Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about the AlsBeatz 13 from Way of Weight. So retail price is set at 149 US dollars, same as the previous versions, AlsBeatz 12 and AlsBeatz 12 Encore. I'm gonna try to upload this right after the release, so that means link will be in the description if you like to cop before Christmas. Hopefully you know exactly what to expect. This has been one of the most popular performance lines from all brands. You don't get charged with the nasty price tag on the Way of Weight 10 and 11, but you get pretty much everything you need, and they're usually great for outdoors too. Coming to the 13 now, quite a few changes. I would consider them as improvements in some areas. It's summed up perfectly here. It literally says, "cause it's hard" on the heel carrier, but it's also soft where it needs to be. I just want to remind you that each and every year they'll drop a ton of different colorways with different upper materials. So this is just how it is on these two launch colorways, the green Stingray and red Stingray. Later on, I'm sure there'll be a V2 as well. Encore, maybe they'll come up with a new name. Is the AlsBeatz 13 too hard for you? Are you hard enough to wear it? Let's get right into it. No diddy. As to how the AlsBeatz 13 performs on the court, cushion follows the same setup as they've always been. You're getting a full-length boom midsole, and the signature touch on the AlsBeatz line is that they usually cage it, at least partially. Here they did the same. On the medial side, the foam is partly exposed, as you can see. So the benefit of that is it adds some stability. Impact protection is great. From the clips, you probably can't tell because of the caging on the lateral side, but it's quite nice and foamy. Responsive and pretty bouncy too. Surprisingly smooth transition from front to back, thanks to the curve shape. It's not a chunky shoe or one that feels too bulky. These turned out lighter than I expected. My size 10.5 pair comes to 395 grams for each shoe, just below the 400 gram mark. So it's a little bit lighter than average. Good for faster players, yes. Yeah, here just remember that this shoe is pretty light and soft as opposed to how it seems. Traction, I would say it performed better for me than the AlsBeatz 12 on a dusty court. Super loud and squeaky. Dust pickup doesn't seem to be an issue so far. My usual gym is always dusty. They've been very consistent. You'll be able to get to a hard stop every time down the floor. I had a great experience with the traction. If you look at the outsole, the most important area, which is the forefoot, it features some herringbone pattern. Then moving to the rear foot, it looks a little concerning because there are really not many grooves on there. But the bottom part is GCU, their premium or most grippy type of rubber compound. 9.5 out of 10. If I was to rate the traction. I believe this will be fine for outdoor use too. It's cold as balls here, so I wouldn't know until it gets warmer, but I always use AlsBeatz outdoors. 10, 10 V2, 11, 11 V2, 12. So I'll let you know later, but pretty sure this is an outdoor friendly also. Half and half between regular rubber and GCU, extremely squeaky and very consistent. With the fit, a little bit different from the AlsBeatz 12. Previously, they run tight and snug, so I had to size up. This time, I actually think true to size is the best option to avoid heel slippage and make sure you don't get a long bolt on feet. Width looks narrow, but it's standard width. Because for me, as someone who has slightly wider feet and very flat feet that tend to stick out to the side, the midfoot area felt very comfortable. I never felt like it was squeezing towards the middle. It does shrink a little bit towards the toe box, but in general, you should be fine. If you have very wide feet, you can go up a half size to be safe. But I think for most people, just go with your normal sneaker size or your true US size in Nike shoes, let's say. Real quick, speaking of the fit, I really like these laces that they use here. They're thick and elastic enough, not the super thin ones or flat laces. So lockdown is great. Another bonus is the insole. It says super critical. This insole is really cozy underneath. It doesn't stick to your socks, the surface. From the bottom, you can see these dots strategically taken out in those two areas. A tiny bit of a spongy effect. Very comfortable. And it's almost like one of those massage insoles. So I really enjoy that. Moving on to the material, I'll put it this way. It's like nice and crispy on the outside, soft and tender on the inside. This upper is definitely harder than before, but I call it sturdy and supportive, instead of being too hard to a point where it becomes uncomfortable. I actually had no pinching or discomfort anywhere from this upper. I was worried about the rough texture. They basically try to mimic the moon, I think, with this shiny, dotted surface. Breathability and step-in comfort did not take a hit, so I was quite impressed with the material. So far, I don't recall a time where feet were heating up too much inside. So yeah, imagine they took the AlsBeatz 12, dipped it into the fryer for a more crispy layer. Sorry, I don't know if that description makes sense, but that's really how I felt with the material, in a good way. Again, with the future colorways, like the yellow one and orange pair, they probably will be quite different. So we'll see how those are. Torsional support is fantastic. It's not a shoe that you can easily bend or twist in shape, stronger than the AlsBeatz 12 and Encore 2 in that aspect. Design-wise, this silhouette is really growing on me. A lot of people were like, meh, when we first saw the On Feet by Snitch. But as I'm speaking right now, I think this is a fantastic looking shoe. The boldest part of the design is at the back, this big lunar cave. The more I look at it, the more I'm digging it actually. And you know what this green colorway reminds me of? A little bit of light pink on there, that's perfect. Goes well with the texture. Some outer space, not from Earth type of vibes. I saw in the comments of my short video, some people think this looks like the Jordan 39. I did not see that actually. And they're very different, by the way. AlsBeatz 13 here gives you much better lateral stability. Some more design perks. There is a TPU plate called the Euro plate, named after D-Wade Eurostep. That's why the torsional support is so good. If we were to evaluate the build altogether, factoring in the upper construction, rigidity, also durability, I think this one will last you a long time too, as a regular rotation shoe. Overall, I think this is an excellent performer. A+, or maybe even S tier status. It actually feels more like it's from the 808 series, probably because of the TPU counters and caging. I mean, it looks funky, weird. The exterior got harder, yes, but it's still soft and tender on the inside. You know what, I can't really think of many other basketball shoes that are built like this. Firm on the outside, but really cozy on the inside with a great step-in comfort. For that reason, this is quite a unique cool shoe, while it still maintained the identity of the AlsBeatz line. Full-length boom plus some TPU caging, basically. For comparisons, think about this as the deep-fried version of the AlsBeatz 12. Same ingredients, very different outer shell. Recency bias, I admit, but I might take the 13. Traction performance is better on the newest version, that's for sure. A lot of people reported a pinching problem on the Encore near the stitching line. Here, there was none, based on my personal experience. Like, even the Gammas were pinching me non-stop. This harder one somehow doesn't. Delicious. Yeah, maybe trailing behind their Waveway 10 and 11, superior than the rest, if I have to pick. But Waveway is making good stuff out there. As always, let me know how you feel about this new AlsBeatz 13 down in the comments. If you like the cop, you can follow the link. They should be available on their official site by the time this is out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next one.